Welcome, everyone. This is episode 13 of the Gaming Up North podcast. Today we're going to talk beat 'em ups. I am joined, as always, by my lugubrious co-host, Mr. Adam Ashbridge. How are you doing today on this fine, I would say medium, sunny summer's night, evening?
Been a bit clammy. But as I always say, over 10 degrees too hot for me. So,
over 10 degrees, clammy knees.
Yes.
Under 8 degrees, that's fine with me. He's always saying that.
That's phrase.
Oh, right, but yeah, so we're here to talk about beat 'em ups and everything that entails. What I didn't realize was I would have to give a slight addendum, I guess, and be like, a fighting game does not make a beat 'em up.
Yes.
And likewise, a beat 'em up is not a fighting game. Because some people in the group were thinking like Tekken is a beat 'em up. I think like maybe back in the day, we probably said that a bunch.
Maybe. I probably didn't because I like to be correct about things.
Well, the magazines were probably saying anything back then. But now we have a fighting game community.
Yes.
They like to be called the FCG. So
that's
they've claimed the term. That's what it's called when you go to like the Evo championships. Right. But before we get into this, I had a call earlier from an old friend. He's made of wood. And he's horrible. Stumpy, everyone.
Stumpy.
What's he doing? He's just he's moving. Oh, how you doing, lads? It's me, Stumpy.
Right, you haven't been around for ages, so you want one of two things. That's either money for fags or whatever you do in your spare time, or you just want to cause us misery and make us miserable.
I've come to talk about what TV shows I've been watching. Do me TV update.
You've got a TV?
Somebody has. I look at it sometimes.
You've been watching through Jake's window again, haven't you?
Maybe anyone's window. But anyway, do you want to know what I've been watching?
Go on then, Stumpy. What you been watching?
Nout.
Wow, thanks.
Have you been watching anything?
Well, I feel like you're going to butt in when I tell you the answer, but I recently watched the whole of the Fallout series on Amazon. It was great.
No, I'm not going to watch that. But anyway.
You fit right in, mate. You look like a girl.
Yeah, that weird blue Sonic fella sent me in to check up on you, so I'm gonna just hide it in the corner and I'll not bother you anymore. Well,
wow,
that was interesting. Turn the confetti off. So it seems like our 51% shareholder is still keeping an eye on things. Keeps threatening to stream. I saw that little trailer he knocked up at the end of our last stream.
I mean, that's pretty impressive from a...
It was impressive for him to fade out to black in the middle of our outro. Did not know he could do that.
Well, that's what happens when you hold all the shares in the company, like.
Yeah, you get the button privileges to OBS, apparently.
Just fade in, fade out instantly.
I'm not a notary. Lee's our notary, and he's not here to break down the contracts or anything. So.
I feel like Lee might have got threatened in that meeting.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. He did like fly out of a portal, I feel like I saw. I mean, that's what he posted on his Instagram. And you know everything there is real. But yes, we have fun here. I just want to say as well, special thanks to the Eldridge Podblast who kindly raided our Twitch channel yesterday. Those guys are awesome. I wouldn't say friend of the podcast because I don't think, but I could claim to be friends. But definitely like, you know, like us, like to have fun. They do Dungeons and Dragons. mostly kind of like drama from the table. Like they'll read like Reddit posts where people are like, in my table, if you roll a 24, it means you can do anything in the universe. And then they're like, nah, mate.
No, that's not how it works.
But yeah,
no.
check them out if that sounds interesting. If you like hearing about tabletop drama and what's going on in Dungeons and Dragons, because 6th edition is just about to be announced. They might not be calling it 6th edition.
Well,
might just be called
sense,
like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons again. But yeah, that's Eldritch Pod Blast, because it's like Eldritch Blast, the move that warlocks like to do. But I don't know. Yeah, have you got any updates or anything fun been happening? Have you still been at the gym?
Yeah, making some progress slowly but surely.
Yeah, but, I've got the old kettlebell back out, inspired by you.
Ah, good.
Doing my squats. I mean, deep knee rock squats, 7 or 8 at a time in a row.
Dumbbell in the house because I haven't got 2 anymore. So sometimes if I'm just sitting here, I'll just do a bit of.
It's hard with one though, isn't it? That's why I want to get a kettlebell, because I'm like, okay, I want one thing that I can hide and is easy to be used as equipment.
Yeah.
And I want it to be like even.
A good one to do if you've got one, if you're wanting to work on your tries and that.
Pro tip.
Hold it over your head, right?
Yeah.
And then dip it down.
Oh yeah.
You feel the burn like after like 3.
It's the GuN show. It really is the GuN show. Yeah, I like to do the one where you go around your head with it and bring it back, and then round the other way. That feels like, I mean, my shoulders and elbows do all sorts of unholy click and stuff, but it feels
that though.
Yeah, it feels like I'm shaking things loose.
Yeah, starting to get some really good definition on the back there. You see that?
That's striation. I'm gonna do that thing.
Vince McMahon might be after us. Gary striding well
with his little mustache.
Yeah, so that's been going all right. Haven't been doing much else. I mean, I started recording a new track today.
Oh yes,
do a bit of.
I had a sneak peek, and I think everyone's just been watching X-Men '97. I think that's all that's been going on.
Yeah, people haven't been doing much, which is nice for once. There's not much going on. Nice.
Yeah, we've kind of got a bit of a lull. There's plenty of video games, but in like movies and TV, had Fallout, and now we're sort of in the waiting for Star Wars Acolyte period, I think.
Yeah.
Because there's always like a Star Wars show just waiting to come out.
Oh God, there's always one waiting to come out in there.
Seems like it, and they're all terrible. Well, tell you what's not terrible. Friggin' the old classic 16-bit beat 'em up that we all loved as kids.
Yes.
I was trying to think today, and I don't know if I can actually pinpoint what the very first one I would have played was. My heart says Streets of Rage, probably, because I'm pretty sure I would have missed all of Double Dragon. But I could have played Simpsons Arcade before. I'm just not sure, because that was just like the wild time of the 90s, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, the first one I owned was Double Dragon on the Nintendo.
Okay, so Nintendo version, which is a lot different looking and sounding from the arcade, from what I've seen. You were like little squat, little action figure guys.
Yeah.
How did you feel when that lady got punched in the gut? Were you like, I've got to save her? Did it spur you on?
It did. It set something off.
To we go front. Bring her back. I can't remember what the characters of Double Dragon, sort of what their deal is. Is it just like your classic crime boss? Are they like policemen? Is a Billy and Jimmy policemen?
Bimmy and Jimmy.
Yes, in the third one, it's a typo that says Bimmy and Jimmy, but I believe it's supposed to be Billy officially.
Oh, actually, saying Billy, can you remember? This might be too old for you, but there was a Nintendo game called The Adventures of Bayou Billy.
I'd seen it on I believe the Spoony one did a review of it back in the day. That would have been the first time I saw it. The music in that game kicks ass though.
It does.
And it's got one of those voice lines at the start where it's like Adventures of Bayou Billy.
That's bull. Exactly it.
But yeah, I would say that counts as a beat 'em up because you had beat 'em up levels, and then you like got in a jeep, and then it all just went out the window.
Oh, so the series Double Dragon features twin martial artists Billy and Jimmy Lee as they fight against various adversaries and rivals.
Oh, a Bobo,
That's
the enlarged head man who comes
Yeah.
out to fight you like a giant
Yeah.
baby on roids.
I mean, it doesn't really say much else.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think it had a very like memorable, apart from the punching your girlfriend and taking out of your garage, I guess, that they lived in the middle of
Yeah.
the city.
I think so.
So like,
But yeah.
can you remember like what, like were they one of your go-to like genres or games where you were like did you enjoy it as a kid or were you like confused? Because I definitely like loved it immediately.
Same. The only things I played for a certain amount of time was either the Mario games on the Nintendo,
Yeah,
or Double Dragon, and then
yeah.
when I got a Mega Drive, that's when Streets of Rage like took over my life.
That was so much like further ahead than like any game I'd like ever played at that point. Because I mean, I know we were sort of into the era where technically there was some like 3D stuff coming out, but
Yeah.
as like a total package, Streets of Rage with the music and everything hitting, and it was like proper like dark, grimy streets, but also like colorful and anime at the same time.
Yeah.
It was just excellent. Oh.
But
Is Adam frozen?
no, I'm not frozen. I was just waiting for you to say something. I thought you were saying something.
Oh no! Apart from
But I've seen that on seen on the chat there that Peach is saying, "Could you turn Adam up a bit, please?"
Oh yeah, I think so. Turn them up, live audio,
hello,
folks.
Hello.
Give him another 10%.
There we go. Seems to be hitting a better range now on the meter.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine. Okay. Yeah. So where were we?
Streets of Rage, the first.
Streets of Rage, one of the greatest games ever created.
Yep. 90% chance as soon as you start, someone's gonna hit the C button, and it'll go to that police car, and you'll have to watch the policeman fire a giant bazooka, and then it'll go.
Yeah.
When there's no enemies on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Because they just put that on the C button.
For some strange reason, best known to someone else.
Yeah.
But no, that's it's such a good game. Like, it's from the music to the visuals. Like,
I really liked as well how it sort of, like I mentioned it before, but it straddled that line between like anime and like action movies, where it was like,
yeah,
you could tell this was like, I mean, not as a kid, I wasn't like, this was made in Japan, therefore it's like a weird mishmash, but like it had something special where, you know, like the writing in the background wasn't like English all the time, or it was just like weird phrases and stuff, and you were like, you probably got like sucked in, being like, what is this land? What are the Streets of Rage? where there's just like fat guy baseball umpires who breathe fire at you.
Yeah. Oh man, that's great. But
and then you take an elevator down on the what do you call it, the baseball diamond, lowers down in an elevator, and there's a wrestling ring under there.
Obviously,
with the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be
try and sue them for likeness.
I know this was like the Wild West for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I am that is Streets of Rage 2 that I'm getting into, but
Yes.
by all accounts, it's the same world that they're wandering about in. Uh, yeah, so in that one again, it was another crime boss situation, Mr. X this time. Because when we streamed the game, Streets of Rage 4 a few days ago, we fought Mr. X's, I don't know, genetically engineered twin children.
Yeah.
So like, were they called X and Y? No.
Yeah, well, no, it was oh, what was it?
Yeah, but they were like creepy, like, you know, sort of fancy anime children.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, Mr. X didn't seem like the type who was getting laid, so I'm just assuming it was genetic experiments. Because all I saw him do was sit in his chair and then fire a Tommy gun.
Yeah.
In all directions.
That's all he ever did. That's all he ever did.
And then you kicked him out of a window, and he somehow still survived.
Yeah, but there was his like sort of tomb on the Street of Rage 4, wasn't there?
Yes, but then they've had DLC where it's like Mr. X Nightmare, so he must still be alive.
Yeah.
Like, video game characters survive things that action movie bad guys just can't. Like, they're just built different. Like, he has the Hans Gruber knocked out of a skyscraper window multiple times. And he just keeps coming back to ruin the lives of the Streets of Rage gang. Who are like half policemen, I feel like, because that's why or maybe they're all police, and that's why the car backs you up in the first one.
Maybe. You would think so. But it never really gets explained, and I don't care that it doesn't.
No, because it's like, yeah, it's just, it's vigilante justice. Which, like, I think when you're a kid, you assume this stuff might be happening because there's lots of like superhero movies and stuff like that, and it's like, no, there's never anyone wandering through the streets fighting like legions of bad guys. It only happens in martial arts movies.
It does, and it's a shame that that's all that happens in.
But yeah, like who were some of the characters you like to play as in Streets of Rage? Because I liked Max, the wrestler, in 2.
Yes, my go-to was always Axel.
Yeah.
But I did also like playing as Adam because it has my name.
Yeah, in the first game there wasn't that much difference between them because you didn't really have like any signature moves.
No.
It was just like the little punch combo was like slightly different.
Yeah.
But yeah,
in 2, I just liked the way that Axel dressed and stuff. It was like my thing, you know.
I was saying that like you could probably pull off new Axel's look from the new game.
Just like yeah.
He's got there's just something about him, man. Like, because obviously, like, we'll vaguely describe him, but in the early games, it was like bandana, which checks a box for the 90s cool action guy. But he just had white t-shirt, jeans, and like sneakers, and those like cool gloves, you know, like weightlifting gloves.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's just something about him. Like Axel as well is an excellent name, and you just wanted to be him as a kid. Go grab a pipe.
He definitely was like one of my heroes when I was a kid playing that. It was great. And grand upper man.
Yeah, so I was just about to say about the signature moves they brought in. So his is like a flaming uppercut thing, and I think when I watched the Streets of Rage 4 trailer, they sort of explain it that he's like dragging his fist across the ground like he's lighting a match sort of thing, and that's how he creates the friction for the grand upper.
To be fair, I could do that with my calloused guitar hand. But it'd be more like a monkey claw, just getting like that.
Grand upper. Yeah, it had some rudimentary voice acting. I liked how the enemies would be like, "Brrr," like when you killed them. It'd let you know you'd killed them.
The stage, they were like the last one that you killed was like echoed. It was like, "Brrr, brrr."
Yeah,
so it's like Street Fighter as well.
And they'd be like giants, so they'd probably they'd get like knocked across the screen. And I'm sure there's a couple of guys who try and stand back up, and you're like, no, I can't go another round.
Oh well, is it Streets of Rage 2 where the jetpack bastards come into it?
Yes. Yeah, there's like, I think he's like a boss. But then it's also got bastards on bikes as well who like drive through the screen and you're supposed to like dodge them.
Yeah. Bastards on bikes.
Yeah, the Streets of Rage gang puts up with a lot because there's like grenades getting thrown at them, ninjas pop out eventually. Yeah, like what is Mr. X's company exactly? Like, are all these people on his payroll? He knows like 16 kickboxers. And he's like, oh, you're all gonna come work for me, and can you just be with this biker gang and just stand at the end of the road, and if Axel gets there, you attack him. Yeah. And then there's those twin robots that like swing like spike balls at you. It's like, what are you guys?
Oh man!
And my least favorite boss, Bear, who's like, what even is he? He's like a chubby boxer, but he wears like stripes as if it's like a sailor outfit.
He's wearing like prison pajamas.
Yeah, but he's also he's on a boat level, so I'm like, does he dress up like a sailor?
Maybe we'll call him at a bad time and we'll woke him up and that's his pajamas on the boat.
He's just like, go get you. And for some reason, he's insanely difficult. And this is in a game where you've already fought the Ultimate Warrior. Like, as he like running clotheslines, constantly. Yeah. But yeah, like Bear, he's got like a grab and hops about, and it's just like he's the worst bad guy for one of these games because he can move really fast up and down, which is everyone's weakness. Yeah, because you can only punch in front of you. Yeah, and like I say,
there in the chat, Joe said he was listening in the kitchen, and the baddies in Streets of Rage 4 were Miss and Mr. Y.
Right. Okay.
And then he's also saying Mr. X invests a lot into the local community outreach, baseball, kickboxing, and robotics projects.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Come work for me, lads. I'll get you a job in the skyscraper."
He's basically Vince McMahon of the Streets of Rage world.
Yeah. You go to his office and he's like, he's gonna puke. And yeah, like, so as people like I saw Hopey talking about as well, the elevators were always legendary in beat 'em ups where you'd have to like fight through a gauntlet of enemies that would jump down onto the elevator. Which I don't know how many like I mean, I don't think either of us have been in like an industrial lift without sides or anything. But I can't imagine if people jumped on it, like if like 20 people over the stages of it going up, like just jumped and landed on it to have a fight. I can't imagine that would go very well.
No, I can't imagine this. Surely they've got a weight limit like a normal elevator, right?
Maximum occupancy. But it was always good in these games when you could like kick someone over the side and you're like, I've just saved myself. I haven't actually fight here. And I loved how Axel had like a mean like suplex throw on him where he would just like whip guys like across the screen.
Yeah, I mean that elevator level in Streets of Rage 4 was epic, like because we were just like kicking people out the windows and stuff, and like
it was a lot more like dynamic, where you were actually getting the smashes and everything.
Yeah,
but like like I'll tell you what is annoying about Streets of Rage is 3 was terrible over here, because for some reason there's a couple of games that do this where in America and Europe the version of Streets of Rage 3 we got was locked to hard mode, and Japan had a normal mode, and then they had hard mode, but we only had the hard mode of Japan. And it's like so we could never get very far in it as kids, and we probably just thought we were rubbish and then left it alone. And it's like, no, it turns out they decided to take out the normal mode for us. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck, man? I wanted, because it had unlockable characters in that one and stuff. So that's the one I would have probably liked to put more time into and be like, I'm going to unlock the kangaroo. I think you could possibly play as Shiva. Yeah. But yeah, like we chatted a little bit, and obviously while we were playing. But what did you think of 4?
I really enjoyed it. I mean, it
Yeah.
was infuriating at times, as all beat 'em ups are.
Yeah, it
But
did get. There was a couple of moments where you were like, okay, this is a bit lame. Like when there was all like this, like 10 fat guys who came in 2 by 2 and just would not go down.
We finally did it with extra lives and
Yeah.
specials and that.
Yeah.
But no, it was good, and it's just how they took such the iconic base of the first game and made it into like, it still looked old but modern at the same time.
Yeah, and like to be honest, they did improve the fighting because the juggle system is not in the other games at all, as far as I remember.
I mean, we got like 700 or 800 hits, didn't we? Like,
yeah, like the juggling feels really good in that game, and there's parts where you're like, it's almost like a fighting game where you're like, oh, if I do this move and then this move, is that going to catch them and like continue it on? And most times, yes, it was working for me when I was like, okay, if I hit this like flying attack, then do my like double tap forward special, like, oh, it's like continuing them on, and then they're gonna get knocked over there, and someone else could pick the combo up by accident, like while they're flying past. The only thing I thought was weird about it was because obviously it's like, it's been out for a few years now, but it's like a modern take, and you know there wouldn't have been like between 3 and 4 there was like a long time. I thought they might have done a little bit more nostalgia stuff and like brought back like every enemy, because they only brought back some, and it was kind of weird. The ones they picked, like they brought back like all of the grunts pretty much.
Yeah,
and they did have the same names, which is nice, because you get the little name bar. But I was hoping they would bring back all the bosses, because like there was that bean guy who would throw knives at you, who was like called Sawyer or whatever. There was like different ones. He was pretty iconic, where he's like the biker and he would just like have an infinite knife supply. They had a Blanca or a Wolverine in that game. They had a part where you go through the H.R. Geiger aliens and fight a giant head, which I guess I guess that's supposed to be like an aliens like dark ride that you're wandering through. That's really realistic. The jetpack guy. There was a take on the jetpack man. He was like a what do you call it? A Daft Punk sort of DJ man, wasn't he? Like a cyber DJ.
Yeah, that's why I had me Adam Bomb moment, wasn't it?
Yes, probably. Yeah, there was and Paul did have his heroic moment where he was it was down to him and one of the bosses
on the plane. Yeah, it was on the plane boss.
And he was dodging like 9 grenades and like bazookas and stuff, and he still did it. I
don't know how he did it.
It was amazing. Yeah,
it
like
just shows you the hardcore old gamer in him.
Yes, the never give up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting. I just don't know if I would like play it more. Which is weird because I've seen a lot of people say they've replayed it loads, and I'm like, did we miss anything?
I might have again at some point. Like,
yeah,
I don't think I'd go by myself though.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, did we miss any like hidden depth, or was it because we were playing on 4-player it was different?
Maybe, I don't know.
But yeah, it was definitely a fun entry in the series. And you fight a mech at the end, which it definitely ratchets up the anime.
Yes, it did. Definitely a lot.
Which I guess if you're not going to bring everyone back, then make it crazier and sillier than the first time. I was kind of convinced we were going to end up on like a rocket ship, and then it was going to be like the moon for like the last level or something.
Mr. X's moon world or something.
He's built a theme park on the moon. But yeah, so yeah, that Streets of Rage was definitely the one I played the most as a kid. Because back in those days, if you wanted to play Simpsons Arcade, you had to freaking pay money for every life you had in the game.
Crazy, man.
That would just pop up places though, like like there was obviously like down the seafront in Sunderland where you would mostly find the arcade games, but they would swap them in and out all the time, so you could never really rely on something being there.
Because you'd get like addicted to a game and then it will be gone.
Yeah. And you didn't know if it just been moved to like another location or if it was just gone forever. Will I ever get to play Mortal Kombat Trilogy again? Who knows?
Oh god, I know.
I didn't get a chance to learn any moves because I had to pay.
I know, god, yeah. Pocket money would just go away, wouldn't it? Just like,
oh yeah. Well, and I think that made you think the games were hard, and it's like, no, they're kind of just unfair because it's
well, yeah, because it was like an added pressure because you knew you had to try and do well because you were paying money for it. So...
yeah, and it's like, on top of the money, you'd be like, I don't really know how long this game is. Can I stand here? Are my parents do my parents need to go?
Yeah. They got all the plans? Like, I hope not. But
yeah, but Simpsons was interesting. I did really like it as a kid. It's weird going back to playing it though. It's very like of its time, and it kind of has nothing to do with the TV show, like storylines or anything.
I mean, yes, fair enough. It's in Springfield, but it's not. There's nothing really going on that's. I don't know. They just made it just to be crazy as possible.
Yeah, like I don't know if there's a full-on explanation that's out there because it's kind of hard to get information out of like older Japanese developers and stuff because they're either still working in the companies because they have like good employment laws over there, or obviously the language barrier ruins getting interviews and stuff. But it seems like they were given a sort of either 1 to 2 episodes of the show, or like, you know, one of those like brand bibles where The Simpsons is like, here's a catalog, it's got all of the characters on and who they are and what their name is, but then they didn't have like the context of like what all of them do. And there's the weird thing where Marge has got like a rabbit's ear under her hair, which was apparently a very early, it was going to be like an early sort of secret joke in the show. Like there was a couple of like Matt Groening wanted to do a couple of mysteries where it was going to be, is Homer actually Krusty? It was going to be an actual like sort of hidden thing. And the reason Marge's hair is big is because she's like a bunny rabbit sort of, which is one of his old comic book characters that I used to draw. So when she gets electrocuted in the game, you can see that, and it's like, that's weird. So I feel like they were given some sketches and just left to do whatever, and the storyline is Mr. Burns steals Maggie because she accidentally starts sucking on one of his diamonds, and the only way they can think to sort that problem out is to kidnap the baby in a giant balloon.
Oh God,
which I think is one of the final-ish bosses, because I played this when they released it for Xbox and you could have infinite credits. I have now seen the end of the game, but I think as a kid I only got as far as like the graveyard where you fight zombies, which never happens in The Simpsons.
Yeah, true. I can't remember how far I got into it, but I've remember that part very well.
I can remember getting up to it in a pub when I was like waiting to like my auntie was like picking up like my cousin or something. Now like from a kids party, and I was just like, oh, there's a Simpsons arcade game in the corner. That would have been the last time I played it like on a machine.
Imagine.
But back then, like I say, you just had to take what you could get. Like one time I went on holiday and they had a Street Fighter 2 cabinet, and I was like, whoa, excellent, like a real game, not just like a weird offshoot game or like one of those weird fake cabinets that show up every now and then.
Yeah. Well, wow. Look at the chat there. That is a massive flex.
Okay.
Crimson said, I completed Time Crisis in Coral Island, Blackpool, back in the late 99, 2000-ish on just £1.
The sharpshooter over here.
That's crazy.
Excellent. I was never big into Time Crisis. I think just because it looked like it was going to waste my money. Like I would be terrible at it, and then I'd be out of pocket. Well, to be honest, like when I was a kid, I didn't like, our parents weren't just handing out money to go on these machines. It was like,
oh no,
you had to beg or negotiate, like, can I have £1 to check
I'll
this?
go to bed early tonight. I'll go to bed early. Like, just
with inflation, that's like a tenner.
I know. These days, anyway.
So I think like after that, it would have probably been a Ninja Turtles game. Would have been like the next thing I'd played. But I think everything, it was mostly home stuff. Like The Simpsons was the only thing I played in the arcade. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Did you ever play any of those Turtles, like with the giant 4-player machines and stuff?
Yeah, I played some with my brother and cousin, I remember, in the arcade.
Yeah, all stacked around the screen.
Yeah. I can't remember much of it though. I remember like just like vivid, like slight images in my head of like what some of the levels looked like. I never really remember it being great, but because I loved the Ninja Turtles, I was like, I need to try and like it.
Yeah, there's a few. So like the one, like the big one, which is just called like, I think it's like Ninja Turtles 2 or something on Super Nintendo. Oh, on Nintendo. It gets a bit hard to keep track of what the games are called, because when they move on to consoles, they give them different titles and stuff, or like change them completely. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's a little bit hard. There's a better one called Turtles in Time, which is more like The Simpsons, where it has like, you know, the team up moves and you can get health and stuff, where instead of it just being like you have your life bar and that's all you've got. Because yeah, some of these are definitely like the arcade only ones. I did not play until I was a bit older and had access to either emulation or they got dropped on Xbox. Because one of the big ones we used to play for our drinking sessions was the X-Men arcade game.
Oh yes.
On 360 when that got dropped on the arcade store.
That was great.
It's friggin' hilarious, that game. It's absolutely insane. It's like the story behind it is nuts as well, because it's based off a cartoon that never came out, which is why it has like a different team and costumes to what we used to. Right. It was like based on Pride of the X-Men, which I think all you can watch is the pilot intro movie, like song. Right. Which by all accounts looks cool, but I don't know how much further they got into the actual series. That's why Wolverine's in his brown and tan outfit instead of like the blue and yellow and black that you'd get a little bit later. And it's why like it's got Colossus and Dazzler are on the team. Which to me as a child, I would not have had any idea who those were, but by the time I got around to checking this out, I'd seen some of those guys. Yes. But this was one of the ones that committed the sin, I would say, which Streets of Rage 2 is guilty of, and some other ones, where using one of your special moves drains your health.
Yes.
And it's like, that is just designed to waste money from kids who are pressing the wrong button, or kids who don't realize it's wasting their health and
and do it multiple times, and then it's just like, oh, you're dead now.
Yeah, there was the whole, like, honestly, X-Men games have been like rotten with this, like, for as long as I can remember, where it's like, oh, if you use your claws as Wolverine, your health's gonna drain. I'm like, Wolverine's health's gonna drain. The man with the healing factor, like when he uses his claws that are attached to his body. Like, yeah, I could hear an argument for, like, you know, like Cyclops eye beams hurting him or something. Like,
yeah.
But like, just don't let us play as Wolverine if you're gonna like take his, like, the fun part away.
Yeah.
So like in this game, this X-Men one, the way the specials worked was like everyone had like a screen clearing sort of move, didn't they?
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh, and there was hilarious voice acting throughout this also. But yeah, you'd get like optic blast and stuff, which would be like shoot out and then blow up a bunch of enemies. the characters who didn't have projectiles would just like scream and explode mostly.
Yeah.
Like Colossus would just be like, and then loads of energy would come out of him. It's like, well, can he do that? I don't know.
In that game he can, so it's fine.
And I'm pretty sure Wolverine just did like a big X, because of claws.
Yeah.
Berserker Barrage and all that stuff. I think Dazzler's was good because she just sort of like threw a big explosion in front of her. So you were like, I can aim this. It's quite useful.
Yeah. That was a good move.
And the I see I have seen some mention of it, and it was referenced in the X-Men cartoon, but like the voice acting was absolutely, I don't know if I can say mistranslation is the thing. Like, were they just having American voice actors read the script and be like,
maybe,
no, you can't change it. Magneto comes out and says, "Welcome to die."
Go on, say it.
And it says, "I am Magneto, master of magnet, singular."
Singular.
And calls them X-chickens. And my favorite was always the Blob, because whenever you would like knock him on his butt, he'd be like, "Nothing moves the Blob, nothing."
Oh man.
And like Pyro was like impossibly camp when he was like he was like the fire guy. He's like, "No, you've come to Pyro." Like, I'm trying to think who else there was like boss wise, because they were the ones who shouted the most.
Yeah.
And like I say, they would repeat the lines when you were hitting them. But this was one of those games where, because of the health mechanic, you would just gang up on the bosses and be like, "Okay, has everyone got enough health to just use your specials over and over again?" And they'll just explode. But I remember Magneto being pretty hard because he could obviously fly around and do his magnetism balls that hurt everyone. I've never really understood Magneto's powers. I don't know if you have much of a grasp on them other than metal. But then he seems to be able to do anything he wants with electromagnetism.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so he can float around and have force fields, and in the new cartoon he like messes with the Earth's magnetic field, like by going to the North Pole and getting all mad. I think he can just do like anything. Yeah. But like, can you remember much from that game, or were we too sauced up on cheap tinnies?
Yeah, I think I was way too drunk to remember anything that was going on. But it was always fun though. It was like,
there was lots of explosions and shouting.
Yes.
I always remember as well when you go to like the Savage Land level or whatever, there was these big crocodile men who would come out, but they would look like they were sort of like doing that Moore strut, doing the like say some X-Man's coming dissing your fly girl. Give me one of these.
Yeah, that is true.
But yeah, I do love that about beat 'em ups, how if it's like based on a series, like if it's based on X-Men or the Turtles, they get like, they have to just put any enemy in and be like, "Oh, we're gonna have to put like the Crocodile Man leather head in the Ninja Turtles game." Like, "Oh, we need a level with the Fly Doctor." Baxter Stockman.
Oh god. Yeah.
But I think like by Turtles in Time, they were like, "Oh, we need to have like the robotic turtle and like Spike the Terrapin Man and stuff, like, or Slash or whatever it was called."
Yeah.
Not Toker and Razar, because they were movie only apparently. But yeah, like, is there any that are like jumping? Oh, we forgot a big one actually. Golden Axe.
How could we forget?
That's the problem with these games. I didn't own a lot myself. It was very much like, I'm going over a friend's and he's got some crazy thing I've never heard of, like like Batman Forever, which was sort of like a beat 'em up mixed with Mortal Kombat. Take us through what you remember of Golden Axe.
Oh, well, I remember playing it after I first played Streets of Rage.
Right, so that's a bit of a
If I remember
downgrade, I would
rightly,
say.
if I remember rightly, I think I don't know whether this is just me like being a kid and making stuff up, but I may have to ask my brother about this because he'll remember. I had like a triple cartridge, like 3 games on one cartridge.
Oh, cool.
And it was like Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, and something else, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, that could have happened, or it might have been a one from the dodgy car boot.
Well, it worked. I know
yeah.
that. So that was my first memory of Golden Axe. Well, actually, my first memory of Golden Axe, we took the Mega Drive to my grand's on a Sunday one weekend.
All right.
And all the kids sat in the front room and played on the Mega Drive while the grown-ups talked in the kitchen and that.
Yeah.
And I remember going like, oh, we'll try Golden Axe because like we haven't played it yet. And then I was just like, well, it's sort of like Streets of Rage, but in medieval times. Shinobi 2. Kobe's just said Shinobi 2. I knew it was another game on it. I knew I wasn't making it up.
So that's probably why you were talking about Shinobi before we went on air, because it was triggering all these this triple cartridge memories in you.
Yeah. Cartridge was called Mega Games 2. I knew I wasn't hallucinating.
That's excellent. That's some value right there.
Yeah. 3 excellent games. I mean, Golden Axe was the weakest of the 3 in my mind.
Yeah, Golden Axe felt like it was it felt old even back then. It felt like it was like around the Altered Beast time.
Bastard.
Rise from your grave.
Rise from your grave.
But like, I just remember Golden Axe feeling like it's like this would be the weird bearded guy's favorite games, like the D&D men of the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
actually, my dad was classic Golden Axe.
Yeah, he's got the axe inside of him. He's got the magic. But like, do you remember like? I mean, this game is kind of like metal as hell when you think about it. Because remember, like the character select, you're like on a skeleton hand. For some reason, it's like, pick your characters, rotate them slowly on my big skeleton hand.
Yeah.
Are you in the game, sir? No.
Well, if I remember rightly, speaking of like it being metal, our friend Duffy, who's also an incredible musician, he recorded his own version of the Golden Axe 2 theme.
He did, and he did like an entire medley where he just went through from like the start of the game to the like the end sort of theme and everything, so it's all in one track for you to listen to.
Yeah.
It will be like hidden in the depths of YouTube somewhere. I think his YouTube handle was
called LDVGM, I believe.
Oh, possibly. And there was like Duffy 123 123 or something going around it, so like
if you find him, right, you need to listen to his track called Noobs 2, right? And it's got clips of Invader Zim in it, and it's probably the most grotesque but amazing piece of music I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, we've got some hidden gems on YouTube from our college days.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
But yeah, I'm getting stick in the chat for saying that Golden Axe is for old beardy bastards. It's true though.
How old are you, Joe?
He's younger than us.
Well,
we're the beardy bastards now.
Yeah, we've all got beards. Yeah, we are the beardy bastards.
I'm gonna buy Golden Axe Beast Hunter on 360 and play some real video games on here. But yeah, finally. Like Golden Axe, like the music it sounds like a sort of bygone era where it's very like high pitched and stuff, whereas like Streets of Rage is like the smoothest like dance grooves you've ever heard coming out of a Mega Drive.
Oh, it's the Streets of Rage music is so good. Like I may have to do like a Streets of Rage cover, but with like true to original like dance beats and stuff, but with like guitars and that as well. Oh,
yeah, that would even just be interesting to see what they were even doing. Like what the composition's like. Yeah, that's like one of those things where I've always thought was like dumb that no like famous musicians just license the Streets of Rage beat for anything, like to do a rap song or anything. Like it might be hard to get.
Joe. Just because it's accurate doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
Oh, the axe cuts deep.
It's all right, Joe. We'll get some Bisto and Bovril airdrop to you. It's fine. On our new Sonic Demon Overlord.
Yeah, the axe forgets, but the tree of Joe remembers.
On his blue business card.
This was one of the first games where I ran into a thing that doesn't happens sometimes in video games, but peer pressure from your friend who owns the game and is like, I'm gonna be this guy. That means you have to be this guy, because then we get like this magic and this magic. It's like, so I used to get made to play as the girl, because she was the one who could call down the giant dragon head that would breathe fire on the entire screen, which admittedly was really cool. But it might be why I don't have any affinity for the dwarf, who seems to be people's favorite character.
Yes, he was very good. Yes,
because my friend would always play as the muscle man, and I would play as the lady.
Yeah.
And I would be made to save up all of the magic bottles until I had 6, so you could activate the dragon. Yes. It did have a pretty cool like magic system that I guess, like, now that I've seen some of the chatter, was based on like Dungeons and Dragons spell slot mechanics. So like I was saving up for like a 6th level dragon spell. And I think the dwarf made like trees appear. Was that right, or was that the man? Did he make a big tree, or was it an explosion? I could never tell if it was supposed to be a tree or an explosion. Like a mushroom cloud thing.
I can't actually remember. I mean, I would love to play it again, but I don't know how. Would there be some sort of emulator somewhere for that, or?
Oh yeah, it's probably it might even be on the Switch, to be honest. Like like on the old collection. But yeah, I think the dwarf was like lightning based or something. But I did like how you could ride animals on that one, like those little mounts, and you could get like a weird bird creature that would do tail whips, or you could get a dragon that would breathe fireballs. I think Adam's video might have frozen.
Is my voice still coming through?
It is, yeah.
Because I just looked at the screen and I was like, I'm adjusting the brightness on my strobe light thing and I'm stuck in that position.
Plagued by slight issues tonight, it would seem.
I'm going off cartridge power. That's what it is. We haven't blown on the cartridge before we put us in.
If you I think if you press Control and R on your Discord, it should refresh it and you'll pop back into the call. I'll just talk about Death Adder while you're gone.
Control and R, huh?
Yeah, it refreshes Discord. See if that knocks any gremlins loose.
I'm still. Oh.
Let me try. Okay. Let's see. I'm refreshing. Don't be alarmed. Where is it? I think this is the first time I've totally lost a host completely on the podcast. So once ain't so bad. Let's close you. Oh, this ain't good. I think Discord's just it's going through some issues at the moment, where they like to keep changing the app on us constantly, and nobody likes what they're doing with the app. Okay, I'm loading back in. Let's see if we can pull Adam from the void. Oh. Are we connecting? Are we connecting? Are we back? Yes. I think it was mine that was frozen, but when I tried to refresh it, just didn't do it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? I think it's good now that we don't freak out when there's like mishaps and like technical problems.
It's not worth freaking out about. It's live video, folks. That's how we prove it. There's no editing powers here. Although I can do stuff like this.
There wasn't enough meat.
Yeah, now we're back.
George said summon him quick, put a kettle on.
Oh, and get the gravy going.
Do you know what I nearly did the other morning? I was so tired of like not sleeping well, and the gravy and the coffee were next to each other on the bench next to the. I poured gravy in, like spooned gravy into my coffee cup and put sugar on top of it and almost made a gravy coffee. I was about to pour the water in. I was like, something's not right, and I just like sniffed. I was like, I've put gravy in my coffee cup.
I kind of wish you had like mixed them all together, but then got addicted to it because you were like, you invented a new drink.
Mind you, I made gravy for my meal the other night. I can't remember what it was, but I was focused on the gravy, and I made it that thick that you probably could have like cemented bricks together with it.
Do you not think it makes you feel a little bit sick though when you go a bit too far on the?
I've got this thing, right? Hannah's got the same thing with like sugary stuff. She doesn't feel sick if she eats too much of it. Me, I could drink like 10 liters of gravy and be fine.
Don't tell Paul he's got the urges to do challenges constantly going through his head.
I'll do that on camera.
Just get those of a nervous disposition, look away now. It's not going to be pretty. Just get.
But like the only rule for me doing that challenge would be if I was making the gravy, I couldn't have it.
Okay.
Someone else make it because I make it perfect for me.
My name's Adam Ashbridge, and I've had every job in the gravy industry. Get out. Just get.
Oh no! Is that Paul putting a wink in the chat? I think I've said too much now. Saying, can we have an Adam food podcast? Because every time he talks about food, I want to eat. I'm probably not the best person to have a food podcast. Me 4 years ago, yes, because I would. Yeah. I was. Jake, you asked Jake. I was literally like the human bin. I would just eat everything and anything. But now, because of anxiety, etc., I don't eat as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
But maybe he's having a food section. I might do it, you know.
I mean, that's to be fair. You could fashion yourself, like a nutritional gravy that has all of the day's nutrients in it.
I hate. Sometimes I like despise eating because of the way it makes us feel. Right.
Oh yeah.
I've always said to Hannah, I wish there was just like a pill or a drink or some sort of liquid that had all of me nutrients in for the day, like all my protein, all my carbs, everything, just bang in one, and then I don't have to forget to eat when I'm busy recording all day. So now, Adam Bomb Gravy might have to come out.
Yeah, well, you're in luck, sir, for our new sponsor.
Oh man, imagine. Imagine like next week I've written up plans and stuff.
That's a money spinner. That you can grab all of like the guys who've tried like the ketosis diet and all this sort of like stuff, and you'd be like, is this not working for you? Like muscle milk leaving you feeling ooky. We'll try this.
Gravy bomb. No, I was actually me and Alice's friend had a funny idea yesterday because our friend came over for tea.
Yeah.
And she loves gravy as much as me, and she's only like 13, so they've taught her well, her parents. And instead of a chocolate fountain,
the gravy fountain.
Gravy fountain.
And you put roasties in it
the
and all that.
yeah. So what we thought of is an all-you-can-eat like Yorkshire pudding and roasties restaurant, right? But gravy fountains
Yeah.
on every table.
Can I
It's a want to lose money here. But
can I add something to maybe, you know, like it's it's like anniversary party. We get the gravy lazy river that just goes around the restaurant, and everyone's like
chips.
We'll get shut down by health services.
Something I had before the pandemic, and I've had it a couple of times since, and it was this place in Hortonley Spring, I think. And they do Yorkshire pudding wraps with.
Like, I've seen that technology. Yeah, it actually works. Yeah,
it's unreal. Okay. Unreal. It's like a Yorkshire pudding made into a wrap.
Yeah.
All of the filling, like the beef and the
a receptacle for your entire dinner.
God.
I can feel me bile level rising just thinking about it.
Got goosebumps thinking about it.
I haven't messed with the traditional dinner too much, I don't think.
I've eaten. I know we're straying off track here, but one more food thing about me. I've actually eaten quite a lot for me today. Hannah made homemade lasagna last night. Oh my god! Like, so there was 2 like glass dishes like full of it.
Yeah.
So
one for you, one for the rest of the family.
no, like one was for Alice and one was for me because I like peppers and onions and that in mine.
Oh yeah, different makeups.
So, today for lunch, I was like, I'm gonna have my lunch at a normal time after I recorded that track. So I took the rest of what was in the dish and ate it. There was 3/4 of it left, and the dish, bearing in mind, is this big. And I was like, after I finished, I was like,
help me.
Good job. I gave myself like another 2 hours before I had to go on the school run, because I think I would have keeled over on the school run. Like,
oh, we just load up
the
pod.
Taught the teacher and just loads of lasagna comes out.
I was just thinking like we'll load up the podcast and I'll like start talking and then you're just like like can't move or anything.
Well, to be fair, I have kicked off me acid reflux somewhat rotten with it.
Yeah.
So if I've been like when we've been on, because I keep getting these horrible like burny pains in me sternum, and I'm like, oh, and it keeps going away a bit, and then it comes back because I've had garlic chicken and rice and stuff for me tea as well. So I'm like, I'm just asking for trouble. Like, I'm just asking for trouble. So there's a beat 'em up happening inside of my stomach.
There is. I'm assuming I'm assuming you knocked the bin over and found the chicken under there that you made for tea.
I did, but here's the thing for you. As soon as we finish on this and me and Jake have a quick chat afterwards, I'm going to eat again.
You can't stop them, folks.
I might have some more of that lasagna.
It's going to go on a rampage later.
Because the thing is, Jake, I've actually been eating things that I was like scared of eating.
Yes, this is back to the normal Adam.
It's funny because Hannah made that lasagna last night, right? And I was like, I must say that's the best one you've ever made.
Yeah.
And I was like, what did you put in it? And she'd only been putting everything off the fucking spice rack in it, hadn't you?
Couldn't tell you what was in it.
Pinch everything. She was like, oh, well, I do it sometimes without telling you. And I was like, that's some sort of abuse, that, like, I think. And she's like, well, hardly. And I was like, well, you could be saying I've been putting rat poison in your breakfast every morning. She was like, it's not even similar. My comparisons are the worst, Jake will tell you. I go to the extreme. But anyway, we'll go back to beat 'em up. So we've had a bit of laugh about me food habits.
To be honest though, that does, like I was saying, like in these games you do just find food on the floor and the characters are very happy to just eat it in the middle of battle. And the weird thing about Streets of Rage is one of them is a giant apple on a plate.
Yeah, I remember as well. Golden Axe. There was like sort of King Henry VIII style dinners on the floor, wasn't it? You just
possibly, yeah.
Or
also, like
one of those type of games, anyway.
Also, you know, when you're like a campsite and that guy comes to rob you, and then like you wake up and kick the shit out of him,
yeah,
and he drops all his bottles. Is that the gravy man?
Yes, the gravy fiend.
So
the gravy ghoul.
Yeah, have you had one of those nights where he comes in, he's like, you're like, ow, yeah, man.
Get back here. Touching me gravy. And he's like, no, I'm just looking through the cupboards and that. And I'm like, no, you know that's where my gravy is.
He's getting out. He's on the Ring doorbell.
Yeah. Imagine, like, you get a notification during the night. There's just a guy with like a bindle full of.
And the music starts playing.
I swear.
They did used to hoof him though. Like, I don't know what it was. You didn't use like your swords or whatever on them. They used to just be like, and he'd like fly away and drop a magic bottle.
That's the thing, because like punching him was more personal, like, wasn't it?
Possibly, yeah. Like it made him feel like a scamp. Like it was kind of like a bonus game, because what would happen was he would steal a couple of your bottles. Then if you kick the shit out of him, you would end up with more magic than when you went to sleep.
Yeah, it's like they know him. It's like on Dora the Explorer. I'm showing that I've got kids here.
Yeah,
that Swiper,
right?
He's a little shit, but they're still like, oh, Swiper, man, no way.
Yeah,
that sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, there's not enough scamps in video games because it's usually like goodies or baddies. But I like this guy. If I'd remembered this guy, I probably would have had him show up on the podcast.
Oh.
I would have given him a call. Call the Gravy Ghoul.
The Gravy Ghoul, yeah. Oh, that's the thing, right? Oh, here we're going down the Gravy business
Express.
Empire. Yeah, Gravy Express.
Just oozing out.
Yeah. Gravy Ghoul could be the enemy of Atom Bomb Gravy Industries.
Oh yeah, like you need like a foil like in your adverts. Like, look out everyone, it's the Gravy Ghoul.
And then the kids kick the shit out of him.
He just like boffs granules up.
And just imagine me making like an 80s style advert for this.
Yeah.
Might need the help of Lee.
We do. We need to definitely get Lee's production company rolling. There's a couple of ideas that I want to put on screen. But no, you know what? That's fine. I think this always happens when we do sort of like a broad topic. We always end up chatting the main things, and then we start rambling. That's the Jake and Adam way.
Yeah, we've been like this like forever. Like, we always do it. You should have seen us when we were both drunk, man. I wish we had some of those conversations filmed. Jesus.
Yeah. Although, like, the only time we did film, I think, was when we were at Bloodstock, and it was just like noises at that point.
Whoa.
Yeah, true. We were doing a Metalocalypse thing, but
and I remember creeping that girl out on the Malta.
Because you had a horse mask on.
I had the horse head mask on the whole time, didn't I?
No shirt.
And still, there's a picture of us like texting on my phone through like
through the horse nostrils.
Yeah. And then I remember meeting Dr. Roxo as well. That was great.
Yeah, the rock and roll clown. He was there.
That's one of my pictures on Facebook. It was one of my profile pictures at some point.
Yeah, Bloodstock's great. Yeah. It's like a giant convention where you're allowed to be drunk and run around like a maniac. Nobody stops you.
Yeah, and the food at Bloodstock was unreal as well.
Maybe, or was it just because we were like starving to death after like 8 hours of drinking, and we were like, give me a whole mess of noodles right now.
All I ate was noodles, chili, and hat that was made out of nachos.
A nacho hat.
Yeah.
I thought you were just gonna put a full stop on hats there, by the way, and just be like, I need a hat.
No. Oh, and remember we ate an insane amount of Pringles. We took like so many Pringles with us.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we took like 120 cigarettes, 120 cans, and whatever Pringles we could afford after that.
Yeah.
We liked our numbers.
Yeah. And it was all, every time we woke up on the morning, we'd have a crack open a can of Monster.
And then a Foster's.
And then straight on the Foster's, aye. Oh, God, man.
If you don't keep drinking, the real brain thoughts get back in.
I was so sunburned. That was insane. It took us like 6 days to recover from that bloodstock, you know.
Oh yeah, it was proper like, it was like the end blow off for like a crazy summer.
Oh yeah, that was the mental summer where we just went wild, wasn't it?
It was
going to see gigs at the Borough and then like just drinking all night and. Oh man!
And I had a payout for an accident, so
yes,
I had plenty of disposable for those few months.
Oh God,
to keep us sourced.
Oh man, that was good times, good times. That was before. Yeah, that was just before I got Wahana. That.
Yeah, it was just before we all went along our adult life path.
Yeah. How many doobies did you have?
Not many, to be fair.
To be fair, we would always bum off other people, like, because I'd never bought it myself. I would always just.
And in like Sunderland, it's in like when you're in college age and uni age, like drinking's much more popular.
Yeah.
Oh well, one thing we didn't get into was any street fights, so that's lucky. Even though we would have been trained by these video games perfectly to take on the streets.
Well, what you used to do, which was funny, but never backfired, you would always start shit with someone.
Yeah, there was always some like...
Then come and get me.
There was always some like too weirdly serious guy hanging about looking for trouble.
And that guy with the Sunderland tattoo on his leg. and you were laughing at him.
He might be watching.
I don't care.
It was a bad time.
He didn't finish it there. I mean, it was really badly done.
Adam would
start laughing at him.
Adam could literally like just lift people and put them outside of the pub half the time.
Yeah, because I was. That's the thing. Like, I mean, I was probably a little bit bigger then, like muscle wise. But like, I don't know what it was. I was just like, you would come and get us, and I'd be like, "What's going on then?" And then the guy would like try and like shit. I would always end up getting we would end up getting drinks out of it because they were like, "Sorry for the inconvenience," sort of thing. And it's like, what's that?
And now I just
funny.
Now I just do it on video and slightly annoy people and torment Paul, but he can't get me.
Not yet, anyway.
Everyone's like, Adam was bigger.
Yeah, I was. I liked me beef back then. So, this is
that is a man who's like, had a lot of beef.
So what age was I in 2012?
Oh no, you're asking us to do maths. I'm so tired.
Oh God, so 12 years ago, I was 24. And oh yeah, and Hobie's saying there when he worked with us in 2010, that's when I was going to the hospital gym every day after my shift. and then most likely coming to see you afterwards, Jake.
Yeah.
So I put on a lot of beef then, like
all of us crossing paths in Sunderland because it's a small place.
Yeah. Yeah, I've lost a lot of weight since then. I was happier when I was a bit fatter as well.
God, yeah. But yeah, during all those times on the nights we were playing some kind of fighting game, so it all comes full circle. And now we're still talking about it, still playing them together as well. We're just not drinking anymore because we're old now and It makes you ill for like 2 days.
Yeah. Hope you loved a meaty sandwich and a Mountain Dew. Yes, I did. Every day in the office, I would have like a bacon and sausage sandwich from the canteen downstairs and a bottle of Mountain Dew for breakfast.
Now that's good eating.
It is. And then I would eat tons of meat after the gym as well.
Or a pizza.
Yeah, usually a greasy pizza at yours or something. And like, oh.
The red chili pizzas.
Oh yeah, man, fucking $3.50 for a fucking 14-inch pizza, man.
Can't get that anymore. It's triple the price everywhere.
It is.
It only sometimes had hair on it as well.
Exactly, and I couldn't tell if it was me own or not, so I ate it anyway.
And with that, we're gonna end this one. Oh, we have been Gaming Up North. I am Jake of Nerdy Up North. I appear on other shows, other streams, podcasts, you name it, I might show up. Sorry. This Sunday, I believe, we have Joe Border, who's in the chat somewhere, and Adam going on the main show to talk about South Park. They're gonna have themselves a time. I'm not sure when the next one I'm on is, but we are going to be back, obviously, with our streams and shows and stuff. We'll be back with the monthly news roundup. I'll be back from Comic-Con on that one as well, so I might have a sack full of goodies to hold up to the camera like this. You just imagine there's a goodie. Yeah, I don't know, Adam, have you been up to much music stuff or anything you want to share, or?
Well, I'm started writing songs for a new album. But today I started writing a Mick Gordon track.
Oh, you cut off slightly there. A Mick Gordon Doom style track, were you saying?
Yeah, like Doom 2016 style track, yeah. And it's going well. I didn't think I would be able to write like that, but it's a lot simpler than I thought it would be. So yeah, I'm enjoying doing that, and hopefully we can use that in the near future for something.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to hit like Doom or like Boomer Shooters all in one video, as they're called now.
Yeah.
But yeah, give Adam a follow if you can find him. He's usually at Adam Ashridge Music on most social medias.
Yeah.
We're just at Nerdy Up North on everything. And we're on every platform. Gaming Up North on TikTok. We post some clips of this stuff. If I can get the timestamps right. And oh wait, there was one more thing.
How man, jump proper. I'll how man, you in the fucking next room, you little mug.